I was sitting in a coffee shop the other day and I overheard someone say, "I just can't seem to get ahead no matter what I do." And I thought to myself, here's someone who's working hard, trying all the right things on the surface, but they're fighting an invisible force they don't even know exists. It's like trying to drive a car forward while the emergency brake is still on. You're pressing the gas, wondering why you're not moving. And all the while, there's this mechanism underneath working against you. That mechanism, my friend, is your subconscious mind. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to release that brake and start moving in the direction you actually want to go. Now, I know what you're going through. You set goals. You make plans. You tell yourself this time's going to be different. You wake up motivated, ready to take on the world. But then, a few days or weeks later, you're right back where you started. It's not because you're lazy. It's not because you don't want it badly enough. And it's certainly not because you're not capable. The problem is that you've been trying to change your results by using willpower alone. And willpower is like a muscle that gets tired. You can flex it for a little while, but eventually it gives out. And when it does, you default back to your old patterns, your old habits, your old results. I want you to know that this isn't your fault. Nobody taught us this stuff in school. We were never given the operating manual for our own minds. Here's what's really happening. Your mind operates on two levels. There's the conscious mind, the one you're using right now to listen to me, to think, to analyze, to make decisions. That's about 12% of your mental capacity. Then there's the subconscious mind, the other 88%. This is the powerhouse. This is where your habits live, where your beliefs are stored, where your automatic behaviors come from. Now, here's the thing most people don't understand. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about one thing, keeping you consistent with the programming it already has. If you were programmed with ideas of limitation, scarcity, or unworthiness, then no matter how much you consciously want success, your subconscious is going to keep pulling you back to what feels familiar. It's like having a thermostat set to 65 degrees. You can open all the windows, light some fires, try to heat the place up, but that thermostat's going to keep kicking on the air conditioning until the temperature drops back to 65. That's your subconscious mind maintaining your set point for success, money, relationships, health, everything. Let me give you a framework to understand this better. Your results in life are created by your actions. Your actions are controlled by your feelings. Your feelings come from your thoughts, and your thoughts are generated by your paradigm, which is just a fancy word for the collection of habits and beliefs stored in your subconscious mind. Most people try to change their results by taking different actions, but they never address the paradigm that's controlling those actions. That's why the change doesn't last. You're treating the symptom, not the cause. The key to permanent change is to impress new ideas onto your subconscious mind until they become part of your paradigm. When you change the paradigm, you automatically change your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and ultimately your results. It's not magic. It's just understanding how the mental mechanism works. So, how do you actually reprogram the subconscious? I'm going to give you a process that works every single time if you stick with it. The first step is to get clear on what you actually want. And I mean really clear. Not, I want more money or I want to be successful. Those are too vague. Your subconscious mind works in specifics. Write down exactly what you want as if you already have it. Present tense. I am so happy and grateful now that I earn $10,000 per month doing work I love. Feel how that feels. Make it real in your mind. This is your new program, your new instruction to the subconscious. The clearer the image, the more powerful the impression. Second, you've got to repetition this new idea into your mind over and over again. See, your current programming didn't happen overnight. It was installed through years of repetition. Someone told you that you couldn't do something, or you experienced failure, and drew a conclusion about yourself. And then you repeated that idea thousands of times until it became automatic. Well, if repetition installed the old program, repetition can install a new one. Read your goal every single morning when you wake up, and every night before you go to bed. Read it with feeling. Don't just mouth the words like you're reading a grocery list. Feel it. Embody it. Your subconscious doesn't understand words, it understands feelings and images. When you attach emotion to the repetition, you accelerate the programming process. It's like watering a seed. You don't plant it once and walk away. You water it every day until it grows. Third, act as if the thing you want is already true. This is where most people trip up because it feels fake at first. But listen, your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between a real experience and one that's vividly imagined. If you imagine yourself successful, confident, abundant, and you do it with enough emotional intensity, your subconscious accepts it as real. Then it starts to influence your actions to align with that new identity. If you see yourself as someone who earns $100,000 a year, you're going to start making decisions that a $100,000 earner makes. You'll walk differently, talk differently, invest differently, not because you're faking it, but because you've genuinely changed your self-image. This is where acting as if becomes incredibly powerful. You're not lying to yourself. You're building a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Fourth, you need to guard your mind like it's a garden. If you plant beautiful seeds, but then let weeds grow all over the place, you're not going to get the harvest you want. The weeds are the negative inputs, the news, the gossip, the people who tell you it can't be done, the social media feeds that make you feel inadequate. You have to be ruthless about what you allow into your mind because everything you see, hear, and experience is programming your subconscious. I'm not saying you need to live in a bubble, but you do need to be intentional. If you spend an hour every day feeding your mind positive, empowering ideas, but then you spend 6 hours consuming garbage, which program do you think is going to win? Protect your mind. It's the most valuable asset you have. Fifth, surround yourself with people who are already living at the level you want to reach. This is one of the fastest ways to reprogram your subconscious because you start to absorb their beliefs, their habits, their energy. If everyone around you is broke and complaining, that's going to seep into your subconscious. If everyone around you is growing, building, creating, that becomes your new normal. You don't have to abandon your friends, but you do need to expand your circle. Get into rooms where you're the least successful person there. It'll be uncomfortable at first, but it'll stretch you. And when you stretch, you grow. Now, I want to address something that trips people up. They start this process, they get excited, and then a few days later, nothing's changed. So they quit. They say, this stuff doesn't work. But here's the thing. The subconscious doesn't change overnight. You're working against years, sometimes decades, of old programming. It takes time for the new program to take root. Think of it like turning a ship. If you're sailing in one direction and you want to go the opposite way, you don't just spin the wheel and instantly change course. You turn the wheel, and slowly, gradually, the ship begins to move in the new direction. You've got to stay consistent even when you don't see immediate results. That's where most people fail. They give up right before the breakthrough. Don't be that person. Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was broke. I mean really broke. I had more debt than I knew what to do with, and I was working a job I hated. But I got my hands on some information about how the mind works, and I decided to test it. I wrote down a goal. I wanted to earn $25,000. Now, at the time, I was making $4,000 a year, so this was a huge stretch. But I read that goal every day. I visualized it. I acted as if I was already that person. And you know what happened? Within a year, I hit that goal. Not because I got lucky, not because someone handed it to me, but because I changed my paradigm. I impressed a new idea onto my subconscious mind, and it started orchestrating circumstances, opportunities, and actions that aligned with that new program. That's how this works. It's not about positive thinking. It's about changing the paradigm. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait. Don't say you'll do this later. Later never comes. Right now, before you do anything else, write down one goal, something you want that feels like a stretch but also excites you. Write it in the present tense as if you already have it. Then read it out loud. Feel it. Really feel it. That's the first step in reprogramming your subconscious mind. And if you do this every day for the next 30 days, I promise you, you will start to see changes. Not because I said so, but because that's how the mechanism works. Comment below and tell me what your goal is. Hold yourself accountable. Make it public. That adds power to it. And look, if you got value from this, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. We're building something here, a community of people who are committed to growth, to understanding how life really works, to living up to their full potential. You're part of that now. So stay with me. Keep learning. Keep applying. And most importantly, keep impressing those new ideas onto your subconscious mind. Because when you change your paradigm, you change your life. And you absolutely can do this. I'll see you in the next one.